But Jim, it's difficult to know where to start with that really, a disappointing day all round.
Well, I think it's all about the discipline. So it was always going to be a difficult task. Coming to a place like Hartlepool, they're determined to get a result. It can make a huge difference to where they are in the league. And I thought that it was the game that hadn't really opened, and then the sending off really knocked us for six. But all I'm looking for is the players to see the half out, get organised at half time, and hope that the players that I have left on the pitch show the right mentality, the positivity, the commitment, the hard work and the discipline to see out the second half. And unfortunately, one or two players that I was concerned about at half time didn't start the second half very well, and unfortunately it cost us with another send-off.
We'll get to the red cards in a minute, but even before then we did concede that early goal, which it was uncharacteristically slow start to the game from us. What did you make of the goal?
I'd have to see the video again, and like I said, I thought we were, we've had I'm still getting a lot of resistance from the players in terms of what I'm trying to get across, and one of the things that we're trying to work on in training is the retention from set plays, and I think we just resort to throwing it down the line, lost it. It comes back down the pitch and we don't defend it, even with the extra man at the back. The next throw-in, we decide to play, bounce it back, get the ball down, and John Rooney ends up with a shot. And that's the difference between taking care of the ball and not taking care of the ball. We can always look at the defending and the keeper, who let him run, but it comes back to, at some point, we're giving the ball away. So I was really disappointed with that, and I think that we weren't brave enough to play when we could play and move the ball when we could. So that put us on the back foot, and after that, I think that they were probably buoyed by that, but the decisive thing was the first red card. The game was always going to be difficult to get something out of it, and all I wanted to do was salvage some pride and respect and dignity from the second half in terms of having a real good display for the 10 players, but it was totally undone by the discipline of another player.
What did you make of that first red card? Obviously it was the turning point really in the game. Did you feel it was the correct decision?
I think it's a genuine attempt to go and play the ball, but it happened so quickly. All of a sudden, your foot's in a difficult place, and it's endangering the player. So, I think in the modern game now, that's red. If the referee looks at it from the point of view that the lad's not gone, our lad's gone to play the ball, and their players nicked it. But that's, we're seeing loads of instances where, most Saturdays, match of the day, where you can analyse it and the referee can give the player the benefit of the doubt, or he can just go by the letter of law. And I think with the foot high, suds showing, somebody putting the head down, it's endangering them as they play the ball. So I think, Ash is disappointed, but I respect him fully for the fact that he apologised, and I said to him, it's a genuine attempt to play the ball and you shouldn't be, these moments are going to happen. So it took us a while to sort of adjust, and I thought we've seen the half out quite well. We know, we had to contain, consolidate, and then try to use our set plays or the little bit of ball we had to be a little bit crafty about how we got at the pitch. Created a couple of opportunities from a set play to win another set play. Be a tight offside call, we could have scored. So we're talking about that being the plan for the rest of the half, and it's completely undone by sloppy football from a couple of players and then ill discipline on top of that, and all of a sudden it's not an embarrassing defeat, but it's a really disappointing defeat. But I have to say that I cannot be disappointed with the 9 players that shifted throughout almost the 90 minutes, the 8 lads that shifted for 90 minutes and the others that came on, because it's a difficult game for them to salve energy out of. And you know what, I've got total respect for the way that they applied themselves and the extra work that they had to do tonight to make up and ensure that we weren't further embarrassed. Disappointed with the final goal, because I thought that we actually played better with 9 men than 10 men.
I suppose those 2 quick fire goals in the second half killed the game off really from there, but I suppose the key message from that point on is to keep your head, and that obviously didn't happen with John Rooney's red card. How frustrating was that for you?
I've got to be careful what I say on there, but it's something that we perhaps could foresee coming from some incidents that happened in the summer. We've talked about the cultural identity of the club, and I'm really struggling as a coach to get across the performance culture, and as a manager I'm finding it extremely frustrating to get across the cultural. It's clear that some players just don't buy into the culture that I want, the way that we want to play, the way that we treat the opponents, the way we treat each other, the way we treat the staff, the coach, the manager, everybody. I'm finding that the culture is really disappointing. So these things, there was always a danger that something like this could happen, and there's a cultural alignment needed from certain players, and this highlights why. So extremely disappointed with that. But again, like I said, it's probably one of those where there was always a danger of this happening, and we take that chance with certain players, and you can't talk to people like that. I'm really disappointed because that's not my team. We've got the best disciplinary record coming into this game. A little bit of a tight call, whether somebody's just a margin late and it's dangerous player, but the other stuff is about, because you've got to really create a culture of discipline and positivity, because when you get to those really challenging moments when you're down to 10 men or it's a really tight game, it's not going your way, you want to make sure that you stay in the game and that you're as positive as you can, disciplined as you can, to make sure that you react well, or the big local derby or the playoff games, that you have that culture really well bedded. And but I felt tonight that it was something that was probably, I could see coming for 6 months, but I could certainly see coming from some of the attitudes at half-time.
Just finally, Jim, Altrincham on Boxing Day, how do you go about picking the side up from now after today's defeat?
I think these are professional lads. If we win a game or win 3 games in a row, they don't get carried away, and I think that they'll be disappointed. But I said to them, if we're going to get that kind of performance, that kind of cultural mistakes and put mad discipline, it's better if it's all in one game. And then, sometimes you need these sort of defining. Well, we've had defining moments in the past in a positive way, but this is a defining moment in a negative way, where we realise how important the culture is in which we play, the positivity, the framework in which we operate in any job, whether it be football or any walk of life. The way that you treat your colleagues, the way you treat your people around you, the way you treat the opposition and the people that are there to make the game be fulfilled. So I've no problem. And then, like you said, if we can get 1 or 2 players up to speed from the bench, or that come in on Christmas Eve, and we'll just get them really set as well as we can. And I'm really looking forward to the Boxing Day game, because I'm almost certain that we won't have that kind of performance, and I'm looking forward to being back at Edgeley Park. We've had now 11 games, I think 7 of them have been on the road, difficult places to go, Torquay, Notts County, Bromley, Hartlepool, so they're out of the way. We've still got a couple of games in hand, but my attitude has been that we've done okay in the 10 games till tonight. We've done well in the competitions outside of the league. But I knew there was issues that I need still to address, and there's players that I still need to get more professional and perform better if we're going to consolidate what we're doing and move forward.
Jim, thanks for your time. We'll see you after Christmas.
You're welcome.